It appears I've blown the opposition away, Mr Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I just want to pick up where my good chairman, David Bennett, has left off on this clause 2, the commencement date, because there was a fair degree of conjecture, and I'm hoping that that the member, Dr Cam Caller, will actually take a call and advise as to why he was willing to concede that a date of 28 days after the bill received royal assent was satisfactory. But suffice to say, sir, that there are a number of challenges in terms of this bill becoming an act and going live as legislation, because these devices are actually quite commonly held in the possession of people around the country. And in fact, there needs to be some degree of education, some degree of notification for those people that the possession of the high-powered handheld laser pointers would constitute an offence. And it's quite right that we don't want to catch people on the hop, sir. And I think it will also prevent stockpiling. Dr Calder may want to comment on that, but the last thing we want is people, of course, stockpiling if they're given too much lead-in time. So it's all about getting the balance. Imagine someone having an enormous stockpile of handheld high-powered laser pointers, which it could be weapons of mass destruction. In that context, I am quite confident that the member, Dr Calder, will be elucidating the public of the commencement date, the live commencement date of this bill once enacted, as being 28 days after the royal assent, because it's incumbent on him as a responsible member of Parliament to inform the public that this legislative change has occurred and that the malicious behaviour of individuals who seem to find some sort of entertainment in this use of these high-powered laser pointers has come to an end. And so I think that gives Dr Calder fair time to inform people. And of course the police did allude to the fact that they would need some time from an enforcement point of view to actually see where this thing lands. Because while it's not a punitive bill, and I'm sure Dr Calder will inform us all when he takes his next call on this, it's very much about prevention rather than taking a punitive approach. But the point is, sir, that the enforcement agency, the police, obviously have a role in that. And there were some quite considered comments given by the police through the Select Committee submission process. And sir, so that's why when we sort of wrestled with this point in Select Committee, and we did wrestle with this point, I think it was this point as well as the whether or not it should be high-powered that were the 2 points that caused the committee some contention. But in terms of the commencement date, I know Dr Calder wanted to see this go live as soon as humanly possible. I know he was concerned that there was a likelihood that people would stockpile these things and there could be some sort of travesty there in the fact that people would take liberties that they shouldn't do. But sir, I think we've landed in the right space with this, and the 28 days simply provides ample opportunity, one, I think, for the police to be fully informed of this law change. And in all seriousness, these things will take down an aircraft, they will blind a driver, and they have been used for those two purposes. So I suspect that the police will be quite happy to go out and find someone to make an example of if they choose to disobey what will be a very sound piece of preventative legislation. But no doubt there will be some who will choose to challenge it. And I think the police need that little bit of time to get themselves across that. So you want me to talk about the... I'm talking about the commencement dates for the members. It's very, very helpful of the members. No, they're not listening. The reason I'm saying the commencement date, 28 days after royal assent, is because of the importance of the police having the opportunity to get themselves across this legislation in due course. Okay? So isn't it funny when the boot's on the other foot? Isn't it hilarious when the boot's on the other foot? But sir, so that 28 days is about balance. And if there's one thing I'll say about that, Dr Cam Calder, he is a man who sees the perspectives from all angles.
Mr. Chair.
Dr. Kem Calder.
Look, this is a very important point that my colleagues have actually aired